In this video, I'm going to share with you my top tips for shooting landscape photography on a blue sky day with no clouds. Stick around, it's going to be another fun one. Let's get it. My name's Johnny Spencer, Johny-J for short, and I'm a landscape and nature photographer for the National Parks Service here in Australia, who I've been working for over 24 years. I have a real passion for being out in nature with the camera, and I've decided that I want to share all that photography experience that I've learnt over many years of trial and error with as many photographers as possible. Well, hello good people, it's your boy Johnny-J and welcome to another epic photo adventure. And this one we've come down to a little place called Rocky. I absolutely love this spot. As you can see, we've got a couple of things working against us. One is we've got blue skies everywhere. There's not a cloud anywhere in the sky, but that's okay. We can work with it. We can work with it. I've got a couple of ideas how to get around it, and I've got some tips I want to share with you how to deal with these blue sky days. Now, of course, there's a couple of things you could do as a landscape photographer. You could get out your long lens, pick out details. That's one thing you could do. You could concentrate on wildlife. That's another option. Or even get out the macro lens. But say you're out in a blue sky day, it's a shot that you want to get. It's a location you might not be able to get back to. What do you do? So I'm going to give you a few tips for shooting with a wide angle lens on a blue sky days. So here's my thought pattern so far. You can see setting sun this direction, and we pan over basically 180 degrees, and you can see it's low tide. Look at all these boulders here. These are kind of interesting. Now, if you have a look off in the background over there as well, I'll zoom you right in. We've got a beautiful big cliff, a big headland over there. That's kind of interesting as well. That's tickling my fancy. What I'm thinking is I'm gonna head over this direction, so 180 degrees away from the setting sun. And as that light gets lower, we're going to get some nice glow along that point I just pointed out before in those cliffs, and I think that might be kind of nice. I'm thinking long exposure, so ND filters, probably a polarizer to see through some of that water, and I think this is going to be our shot out this direction. I think that's what we're going to do. So sometimes you just got to adapt to what Mother Nature gives you, and in this case, you know, we're going to be shooting away from the setting sun, but using that light to light our subject. So anyway, that's my theory. Let me see what I can find, some nice foreground, and we'll get set up and I'll talk you through the rest of the tips. All right, so I'm just having a little look around here. One thing I always like to try and do when I'm not too sure 100% about my composition is I want to have my camera off the tripod, walk around and just have a look through the viewfinder and try and visualize what I really want to capture. Now, one thing I am loving, I'm absolutely loving these rocks. These are going to be an epic foreground. And that's something that's really important when you've got these blue sky days, is you want to find an amazing foreground subject, midground subject, and background subject. And I feel like we've got that combination here. I just need to put it together into a composition. All right, let me just have a quick look around here and find my composition. Alrighty, so we're all set up. I think I found my composition. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, and oh man, it's just looking really, really cool. So we've got the light setting. I think a time check. We've got still got about an hour till sunset. It's daylight saving at the moment, so sunset's around that 7:30 I think. I haven't actually checked, but it's around that time anyway. So one thing you'll notice is we've got these beautiful boulders down here. So let me just take a quick shot here, and I will zoom in and just show you these beautiful boulders. Look at these boulders here in the foreground. These are absolutely beautiful. And then if we go up here to the background, you can see here's this big point and this cliff I was telling you about earlier. So looking really, really cool. You'll also notice a big dirty shadow just here. What's that, Johnny? That's me. Hello. And because we are shooting with the sun behind us, we're going to have this big shadow in our frame. But that's okay, because my theory is once the light drops, because at the moment you'll see it's very, very chaotic here in the foreground. And the reason why it looks so chaotic, in my opinion, is because we've got very contrasty at the moment. It's super contrasty, and we're going to have no clouds to soften that out. So my theory is once the light drops low enough that the foreground becomes in shade, and then the background is still getting a little bit of light, that's going to be go time to take my photograph. And at that point in time, my shadow should be gone. Anyway, that's my theory. That's what I'm hoping to achieve. So one of the biggest things when shooting blue sky like this is you don't want to emphasize the sky. The sky is going to be the boring part, okay? So in your composition, there's no detail up there, there's no texture, so we want less sky. So always high horizon line. When we're shooting with a wide angle lens and there's no clouds, you want a high horizon line. And you'll see on my composition how high basically I've got that horizon line. There's only minimal sky, so the sky makes up, you know, maybe, well, looking at that, maybe 30% of my composition, if that, okay? So that's something that's really, really important when you've got these blue sky days, is to, you know, minimize how much sky you have in your composition. And as I mentioned earlier, with these blue sky shots, you hopefully want to find some really impressive foreground, midground, background elements, okay? Because they're going to be the stars of the show. They're absolutely going to be the stars of the show. And yes, there's might be compositions where you can shoot back into the light or the glow, but to be honest, I never find those very attractive. They're not nice. When there's no clouds and you've got that contrast, I don't know, I'm just not a huge fan of shooting directly into the sun on these blue sky days. If you had a big sea stack out there somewhere and the sun was about to go behind that, maybe that would be a time I'd shoot directly into the sun and try and maybe get a little starburst, a sunburst on the side. So in general, when it's blue sky day, I try not to shoot directly into the light because I just don't find it that pleasing at all, unless I've got something big sticking up into the sky that I can hide the sun behind or get a starburst on the side of. All in all, it's looking really good here. Probably going to go with a slightly longer exposure and some sort of ND, I'd say, to put on this, but now it's just a matter of a bit of a waiting game, waiting for that sun to drop. I hope you're really enjoying this photo adventure and you're getting a few tips on how to shoot landscape photography when you've got those bluebird days with no clouds. I really appreciate your support by subscribing to the channel. What it is, it's just like following on other social media networks. It's absolutely free, and what that does, it helps support me in my goal to help as many photographers as possible. So thank you in advance. All right, so I'm going to chuck this ND64 on and just have a play around with our shutter speeds now and just see what I'm liking for these bit of wave movement we've got here. Still got about 15 minutes, I reckon, before that sun will be in the prime spot. Maybe 10 minutes to 15 minutes and I think we'll be good to go. So I really want to play around with my shutter speed and just see how we go here. Gotta love these magnetic filters. Oh, how good are they? Plop it on there. Good to go. All right, cool. So F14 at the moment, focusing about a third into the scene. And of course, once that sun drops a little bit more, we're going to get a longer shutter speed. But even right now, I'm still getting 3 seconds there. So I'm just going to take one of that anyway. So 2 second timer on, move my hands away, take that 3 second shot. And let's have a look. Yeah, nice. All right, 3 seconds. Yeah, that's not too bad for that water movement. I probably want to go a little bit further. Now, so I am going to temporarily push it up to F16 just while that light's still a bit bright. And I just want to test out the length of exposure just to see where roundabouts I'm liking that smooth water, okay? So 3 seconds, I thought we could have gone a bit longer then. So F16, I'm going to go up to, it's going to clip the sky a little bit. Let's try 6 seconds now. So really all I'm doing is just testing this shutter speed just to see what I like, because there's not a lot of water movement out there, but I do want it nice and calm. I do want to have that transition of those round boulders, that smooth water, and that textured headland, particularly with that light on it. So that's what I'm going for. You know, when we haven't got optimal conditions where we've got amazing light, the other thing we can do is use texture in our images, and that's what we're doing here as well, with that, creating a long exposure, calming out that water, and really getting beautiful transition in textures between our boulders, our foreground, our midground, and our background. Yeah, sweet. All right, so let's play that one back. Yeah, I'm liking that. So that's looking pretty good. So, you know, that 6 to 10 second range is probably going to be where I want to be working in at least for this scene. So, yeah, come on, son. Go down so we can get our shot, yo. And not only that, I want it to go down so I don't see my ugly shadow in the foreground. It just annoys me every time I look at it. But anyway, that'll be going away soon. So I think what's going to happen is as that sun drops, our shadow is going to move along our foreground, get rid of our awful shadow there, and put all the foreground in shade. And we're going to have a super fine window, maybe a minute or two, where we can pull off this shot where the light is just on our headland and not on our foreground. And I think that's going to create a kind of an interesting image. I'm really looking forward to this one. Alrighty, oh, look at that light, softened right out there. So back on F11, getting about 6 seconds at the moment there. Focus the third in. You can see all my shadow is, you can see on that rock there, I don't know, you can see this rock here. You can still see a bit of my shadow on that higher rock, unfortunately. But if I move over a bit, it's not too bad. I'm pretty much hidden now in the shadow that's there. So it's now time to start shooting, getting our shots. Yes, look at that. Look at the soft light. Shadow's gone. I love those little glimmers of light. Water's looking good. Sharp front to back. Histogram, let's play back the histogram. Just have a look anyway. Just a little bit of blinkies on the, so a little bit long there, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about the sky. Don't mind, I can pull that little bit of a blinky back anyway, but it's looking really, really nice. And as that sun goes down now, if we leave it on 6 seconds, we're gonna hold that sky back anyway. So, all right, let's just keep shooting here. And there you go, that light is just about gone in a matter of seconds. You know, there's a good chance, depending on what I like, that this shot may be just the one. You know, that one there, there's the difference. Like if you have a look at the back of the camera there, you can see there's my shadow. There's with that beautiful soft light that we've got there. So there may be a chance that that was the only shot we got. It literally was about a minute. It was incredible. It just started, we got that soft light. I turned on the camera, I turned around, took the shot, and then everything went into shade. Absolutely incredible. So I am going to keep shooting and just take a few shots. The sun may come out again, so I am going to wait. But look, I feel like I got the shot in the bag with that one earlier. That extra little bit of light, there's still a little bit of a glow on the rocks and that there, but it's nothing like we had earlier. You know, if you look at this one, I just love that soft light. There's a little bit of soft light on the rocks in places. Looks really dreamy. I love that. There's nice light still on the back of the headland there. So, and that's why we do all that testing and that before. You see, I was taking a few long exposures, deciding what shutter speed that I really, really liked. I also set up my focus point, making sure I was front to back sharp, so I knew where I had to focus for this scene. And of course, you know, got our composition all dialed in with that nice foreground, midground, background. And man, I tell you what, I can't believe it. If we actually just got that in one shot, that's incredible. We literally had enough time to get that one image. Ugh. No way, no way. The sun's almost gone now, and looks like we just got that one shot in that really, really nice light, which I just couldn't believe. We just absolutely jagged it. But I think that pre-planning and just doing those couple of test shots really, really put us in a good place to get that peak light when it was at its best. So, all right, guys, let's jump over to Lightroom and I'll show you how I did the post-processing for this one, and I'll talk you through a little bit more detail about the composition. All right, I'll see you soon. All right, good people, here we are. We're in the field today for our wrap up, which I'm kind of excited about, on a little local beach. It's nice and quiet. The birds are singing. How good is this? All right, let's jump over to Lightroom and I'll show you the final image here. So this one here is actually the final photograph. You can see there's the before, after. I really pushed it up into the blue tones, which I really, really like. And you can see we've got that beautiful soft light that's helping pull you through the scene. Absolutely love it. And I also did a black and white version there as well. Hey, do me a favor, let me know which one you prefer, the color version or the black and white version, the color version or the black and white version. Let me know in the comments below which ones you like. All right, so compositionally, you can see what I was talking about. All these smooth rocks, we've got these other supporting elements out here. We've also got this other little rock, this little pinnacle out the back here. Beautiful light along our main subject, you know, one of the main elements, which is the background element here of this rocky cliff, which I just think looks absolutely amazing. And you can see not much sky, you know, maybe 20 to 30% sky. But what's interesting is you can have a look here. Here's the original shots from earlier on. You can see how contrasty, and yeah, these haven't been processed. So these are just straight off the camera raw files, okay? So you can see how contrasty that light is and how unpleasing and chaotic that foreground looks till we get to that nice soft light, which I was showing you before. And you can see just how much more uniform and softer that foreground is and less chaotic. You know, even though there's a lot going on with lots of rocks, it's less chaotic and your eyes get to jump from those little bits of light that help you through the scene to take you up to that amazing cliff at the background there. So here's the shots a little bit later on. You can see that's with no light as well. And you can see it just not as a dynamic shot. By the way, that hasn't been processed at all. That's straight out of camera, again, a raw file. But still, you can see, you know, no light on those foreground rocks or very little, not much light on the background. It's not as dynamic as this shot. So you can see that's without much light there, and that's with our processing, without much light, with our processing. So I just think that extra little bit of light really makes all the difference. As for the post-processing for this one, it was really, really simple. Basically, basic panel, a little bit of dodging and burning here in the foreground to bring out these, the light a little bit there. If you have a look, here's my mask here. I'm pretty sure that was for the sky. And then I did a bit of dodging and burning here as well. So if you have a look in the black and white, if you look before, after, I just brought that light out a little bit more in the black and white. Just felt like it needed a little bit more punch there, just with some masking there in Lightroom. Other than that, really, really easy shot to post-process because everything is captured in one image, you know, to capture all that dynamic range, which makes it super easy in post to get your photograph. And in the end, I think lovely, lovely photograph. I'm really, really happy how it turned out. And considering there's no clouds, you know, I think this is a lovely shot and well worth the effort to go in the field and capture it. So there's the black and white again. As I said, let me know which one you like. So color, black and white. Awesome. All right, good people, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. It was another fun photo adventure. And as always, leave a like as you're going out the door. It helps support the channel and helps get the word out about my videos to other photographers, which supports me in my goal of helping as many photographers as possible. And there's a few rocks here, so I don't want to walk on those. Let's walk around those before I trip over. And as always, you know, check out this video here. You'll probably like that. If you really like this one and you're into landscape photography, go and check this one out. You'll love that one also. And as always, stay inspired, keep creating, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.